By BioStar Services. Fire, flood, biohazard, or more, BioStar Restoration Service can quickly restore your home or business as good as new. BioStar is independently owned and operated with 24/7 emergency service and discounts to veterans. Call BioStar at 844-424-6782 or online at restorationbiostar.com. A guilty verdict delivered by a Tuscola County jury Wednesday against 28-year-old Brian Ellswick in connection with the death of his 1-year-old son. Back in February 2K22, the boy was found suffering from a traumatic head injury, died soon afterward. Cleanup continuing in Saginaw, where a train carrying corn derailed yesterday afternoon, West Michigan Avenue near River Forest Drive. Half dozen cars from that freight train reportedly having left the tracks. A federal judge blocking the Trump administration from requiring proof of citizenship to register to vote. President Trump had signed an executive order last month to make sweeping changes to federal elections, including a proof of citizenship requirement. But the judge says the Constitution only gives the power to change election requirements to Congress and the states, not the president. Pistons lost to the Knicks 118-116 in Game 3 of their playoff series last night. That means that the Knicks now lead the series 2-1, heading into Game 4, which is Sunday afternoon at Little Caesars Arena. Lions choosing Ohio State defensive lineman Tyleik Williams with the 28th pick in the first round of the NFL draft last night. Miami quarterback Cam Ward was the first overall pick. He goes to the Tennessee Titans. Tigers off yesterday. They're back at it tonight, opening a weekend series with the Orioles. That's a 6:40 p.m. game at Comerica Park. And the Great Lakes Loons, still on the road, beat the Lake County Captains last night 3-1. And to cap this one off, a Flint building is reportedly now being added to the National Register of Historic Places. MLive reporting that the former hotel and seniors home that was known as Marion Hall is getting that designation. A Flint-based nonprofit group is going to be redeveloping that structure that's 100 years old. Communities First Incorporated also to receive $1.5 million in state funding toward that redevelopment. And that's 5 things you should know from 103.9 The Fox. Get cloudy skies to start us off, with rain and thunderstorms likely moving in by midday and possibly continuing off and on into the afternoon. Temperatures should top out around 73 degrees with light variable winds that'll shift to the southwest this afternoon. We expect to see periodic rain showers tonight, lows around 45, and then tomorrow it's mostly cloudy, much cooler, only reaching around 52. For Sunday, sunshine and 65. Right now it's 51 in Flint, and in Saginaw, 47. Well, here we go. Ready for the weekend. Friday, we have managed to stay on and stay connected so we can actually do this, unlike last Friday. So now here comes our group that is on usually YouTube, mostly, although we do have Facebook and Twitch available for those of you who care to try one of those for a little more elbow room. Thing is, you won't see the comments from the YouTubers, like the one that Eric has just thrown in there about the fact that Rapsuka said he won't be here today, which is true. He did say that yesterday. Eric also is our musicologist, so he's making sure that you know that it's Don't Fear the Reaper by the Blue Oyster Cult that's playing now. And we can't let you hear it because we have Facebook as part of our triumvirate this morning of platforms, and they don't want you to hear music, you know, that is. Okay, we got Canada Dan. Good morning, Canada Dan. And up 3-0. Oh, the Leafs. They ended up winning that game last night. I was watching the first period and a little bit of the second. I was kind of going back and forth between that game and the Panthers Lightning game last night. This is great. You can watch hockey all the time. Problem is, it's too daggone early too late in the night for me to be able to watch any of those games to the end. Even those games that start at 6:30 is kind of a challenge to do it. Chris here. Good morning, New Mexico. Chris is on YouTube also. Here we have Tina, who is here from very, very smoky New Jersey, trying to get their act back together and clean up things. Everybody's on Facebook or YouTube right now. I don't have anybody else anywhere else so far. Well, I'm going to wait until a few more folks arrive before I tell you what happened immediately following yesterday's live stream, which was over on Instagram. It was our every Thursday get-together inside the Hal Hole Saloon. And when we were done with that live stream yesterday, something happened, which I want to bring you guys in on and show you about. And I would have considered it suspicious if it weren't for something that we had talked about just 2 or 3 days earlier. But it was a little interesting what went down as soon as our live stream was over yesterday. And we had fun during that. Linda's here from the township. Morning, Linda. We yesterday managed to cross the 80-degree mark around here. So definitely spring has planted itself and locked in. It was like 82 degrees at one point yesterday. 82 degrees for a while, at least in our area for a while. Eric thinks it was copyright. No, it wasn't that. That's too much of a regular occurrence around here for us. That's kind of like old hat stuff. That's kind of run-of-the-mill stuff now when we get hit for copyright infringement. This is different. This was different what happened yesterday. This was very different what happened yesterday. And we'll get to that in just a few minutes. We've got, what do we got? We got, in addition to the Friday morning Primal Scream coming up a little after 8:30 this morning, we got some food fighting. Steph is going to be doing her porn star or weatherman feature. Fitzy is going to now break the chain of YouTubers, and he's going to arrive on Facebook because it's Friday. He's extra happy. Good morning, Fitzy. For those who don't see his comments, because that's all the rest of you, everybody else on YouTube right now. Fitzy joining us, as he has for a long time since we've been doing these live streams. Friday, the 25th of April. I'm looking at my calendar for anything special because some people always like to know that. And it's Anzac Day in both Australia and New Zealand, so I would assume that nobody from Australia or New Zealand will join us today because it's a holiday for them. I guess. I don't know what Anzac Day is. Tina has to leave at 8:30, and so she's got to shower and dress. So once again, not dressed. That, again, has become old hat for us to know that Tina is here, not dressed, to start our live stream. But what happened yesterday after the live stream was over was, I would say, I would have said unnerving, but again, because of the fact that we kind of talked about it 2 or 3 days earlier, it isn't quite as unnerving as it maybe could have been. 1 week from tomorrow, Fitzy is going to walk the graduation stage as a college grad 20 years later, he says. We're all pumped about that. That took a lot of work and stick-to-itiveness for Fitzy to make that happen, but daggone it, he's making it happen. Yeah. Does look like it's probably going to rain today. Yesterday was just a perfect kind of day. I mean, it just was great. Really, really great. Even Jacko enjoyed being outside, walking around. He was wanting to walk as much as he could yesterday. I did notice, by the way, Fitzy, Linda is saying congratulations. She's over on YouTube. And if you get confused, she's the one who's been Shaka. She's the one who has been Catgirl. She's the one who's been Thumbs. All of those. All of them. Every flipping day. Yeah. No, it's really... I was outside for a minute walking around here just to kind of get a little bit of air and kind of drink in the atmosphere of a Friday morning and hear the birds singing, because now in these... For whatever reason, last few years, I've been really appreciative of being able to get outside early in the morning and hear birds singing to me. I don't know what that is. I never used to notice that growing up, but now it's kind of a cool thing. But I'm out there walking around, and this dude who walks his dog, which is kind of like a pit bull mix, in the neighborhood that Jacko has encountered a few times, and Jacko really does not like this dog at all, ever. If the dog walks by and the front window and Jacko happens to see him, he goes absolutely crazy, yapping at him. Well, the dog is out there. The guy's out there walking his dog 20 minutes to 7 this morning. He has that dog out there 3-4 times a day walking him. Why? Because when he takes his dog out to walk, he doesn't have to worry about the dog trying to start a war with the world. And I'm really envious of that you have a dog being able to do that. What happened after that Instagram Live? We're going to talk about that. I want to talk about, first of all, the traffic, because we're getting ready to do that in a minute. And, in fact, I better check and see, because we did have one crash that was pretty messy earlier, but it looks like, and still working on that one. We still got a tire out there, too, on 69. Yeah. Okay. Even just driving down here, the main street through town, we've had things happen over the last 2 weeks. In fact, I wanted to bring that up for you, too, because there were a couple of things that happened within 3 days of each other, which were kind of interesting. But anyway, here's Johnny and Steph right now.
You want to take a cruise to Toledo?
No, I don't think so.
It's a new cruise port.
Really?
Yes. It's a port city, to be fair. It's right
Yeah,
there
it is.
on Lake Erie.
It is.
They're hosting their first cruise ship in decades. The Victory Cruise Lines this spring. The Victory 1, a 286-foot, 190-guest Great Lakes cruise ship, is going to be calling on Toledo at the end of the month, Friday, May 30th. One-time test stop representing the first cruise ship to visit the city in more than a generation, they say. Apparently they're going to see if it goes over well.
Huh. You and I talked about the best beaches in the state of Michigan, and we talked about Lake Huron not getting a lot of love.
Right?
Second only to Lake Erie that gets absolutely no love at all.
Yeah, it's I know, because I lived on it most of my life.
It's like the forgotten Great Lake.
It kind of, in a sense it is. I mean, not in Cleveland.
No, yeah.
They have a number, we used to take, when we were in high school, we'd always ask the girls to go to the submarine races with us down at Neff Park in Cleveland.
Okay.
Which is right on the water, the submarine races. And these girls go, yeah. Well, you can't see them. They're under the water. We'll have to find something else to do.
Oh, my God. Toledo does have a beautiful waterfront last time I was there.
They actually do. It's not too bad there. I mean, and that's, neighbor to Sandusky there and
The whole Cedar Point thing.
And the whole Cedar Point area, yeah. And one of Mackinaw's main attractions is actually all about stepping off the island and onto a cruise as well. Sip and sail cruises. They have a summer calendar packed with on-the-water adventures out of Mackinac. Tickets are now available to book online, which is why I'm bringing it up. This year, the Big Isle Royale Queen 3 and the glass-bottomed Robin E are both going to be sailing from Mackinac Island's Arnold Freight Dock, just around the corner from the popular Seabiscuit Cafe. They've got history cruises, too, being narrated by members of the Mackinac Island Historical Society. So if you're into those
cool.
kind of things.
So are they trying to give you more things to do off-island because of all of that ice storm damage?
Well, I think this was stuff that was planned before that, but yes, it will conveniently keep you, because they have a lot of problems on Mackinac Island. They're not talking too much about it because it's a tourist destination, but it is. What about 8? That thing, the road that goes around the island is like 9 miles, and I think they said 80% of that is blocked.
Yeah.
Or was. They're cleaning it up. It may very well be cleaned by now.
Yeah.
But they had a lot of ice damage.
Yeah, they did.
Anyway. It's 7:16 right now.
The Foxhole Morning Show. Charlie Burke and Steph still to come.
Okay, you're only a few minutes away from your first chance to get signed up for next week's Fox $1,000 Thursday drawing of $1,000 that goes to one winner. We have 4 of those already, and yesterday Alex River of Flint was the latest. You get to sign up at 7:20-ish here on the Foxhole Morning Show. Then, about 10 minutes later or so, Steph and her Fox Flashback immediately preceded by Porn Star Weatherman. 2 opportunities for you to win back-to-back here coming this hour on the Fox.
This hour is service of Michigan Lumber Company. Thinking about a new deck or replacing an existing deck in your backyard? PVC is the way to go, and Michigan Lumber is the go-to source for quality deck products. See them all at MichiganLumber.com.
Okay, we'll get to the traffic, but before we do that, I want to show you your smile source today, who is Annabelle. This is a Maltese who lives in Glendale, Arizona. Meet Annabelle. That is Annabelle. And they're talking on this page on the 365 Dogs calendar about how skilled one has to be a dog groomer, to be able to work on dogs like Annabelle, for example, using the little tie there to take the hair up out of the eyes. That's one of the things they need to know about. Dog groomers should be able to identify which undercoats get matted easily or how to fix fur that obscures vision, like Ponytails to the rescue. Talking about how it being a physically demanding career that requires knowledge not only of how to tend to nervous creatures who hate being wet or fear nail trims, but also each particular breed's purpose and needs. When I had Koa, I had to take him to the dog groomer and stay with him because he was such a pain to try to hold on to. He's a big, strong, what was he? He was shepherd, Shih Tzu, shepherd, and he was a mix. He was a dog with a big wrinkled head and a big attitude toward people that wanted to mess with him, particularly around his face. Because he had all the folds, the wrinkles and stuff in it. They would get in, the dirt would get into the folds and stuff. And boy, I'm telling you what, when you try to mess with him, he was just a pain. So I helped them out by keeping him there and staying with him through the entire process. In fact, Tina Jr. is a dog groomer, we find. Tina said she sent her to school for that. Special kind of person has to be a dog groomer. Does she enjoy that a lot? If she's still doing it, she must.
Confidential support 24/7. Dial 988 or learn more at michigan.gov/988. Sponsored by the Michigan Department of
The Shar-Peis are the ones that have the purebred Shar-Peis are the ones that have all the wrinkles head to toe, but he's only got them in his head. We're still working a serious crash in Flint at Pasadena Avenue at DuPont Street, so another area to avoid. In Genesee Township, Belsey Road, a little bit north of Potter Road, we're still cleaning that one up. And that tire is still in the roadway. We've been looking at that for over an hour now, and I don't know specifically which lane it is, but it's on eastbound 69 just before Center Road in the city of Flint. So again, keep an eye out for that. And for updated vehicle city traffic info, check it out at classicfox.com/traffic. You spot a crash, let us know at 810-230-WRSR. That is 810-230-9777 to be a traffic tipster on 103.9 The Fox.
Flint's local contest authority, 103.9 The Fox.
Okay. We get done with our live streaming yesterday from the Hal Maas Saloon, where everybody knows your name, right? And your drink order, usually, if you come in and keep ordering the same one, like Rob Suka tends to do all the time. And he seems to be inspiring several of you because several others are following suit with what he wants to order. He's always ordering Fireball, and many times multiple orders of Fireball, and like he did yesterday. And so many of you are following suit. Now, as we talk about that, here we've got our first Twitcher with us, Soaring Eagle 59. That's Boss Lady when she's over on YouTube, but she's over on Twitch at the moment, saying it's Fry-yay. People feel that way, and so there you go. Also got Jer Bear here. Good morning, Jer Bear, who's on YouTube for us also. Okay, and now just because she's got to talk and see to everybody else and what they're doing and be part of the crowd on YouTube, she's going over there. We'll see. Boss Lady will be on YouTube momentarily. She's been on Twitch, and now she's shifting. As we talk about what was going on in the Hal Maas Saloon yesterday and the fact that we were chatting about any number of things, but what we were really talking about a lot was Fireball, right? As I said, Rob Suka always orders it when we're there, waits overnight outside to be able to be the first in so that he'll have enough of it to, you guys won't drink it up before he gets to it, right? Okay. So he orders his Fireballs, and several of you followed suit, and we talked about it quite a bit. So then we get done with the live stream, and I shut off my phone on which we do this live stream. And when I have shut off my phone, it returns to my home page. And it shows me this. On my search, fact or fiction, does Fireball Cinnamon Whiskey really contain antifreeze? That was there when I got done with our live stream talking for an hour about Fireball. Now, two things having to do with that. One, the answer to the question that was posed by that headline is no. Is no. It doesn't have antifreeze in it. What brought up that discussion in the first place is that once upon a time, the formula to make Fireball Cinnamon Whiskey contained propylene glycol, which is an ingredient that is found in antifreeze, but was not used at any kind of a dangerous level when it was part of the recipe for making that. But years ago, that was taken out of the recipe completely anyway. So it was never an issue, and it still isn't an issue, and no, there's no antifreeze in Fireball. But the other thing is, remember how we were talking about 2-3 days ago, and I don't remember if we did it here on the simul stream or if we did it on YouTube, but we were talking about how if you have your microphone on your phone, hang on, back to this.
Shelley? Yes? What can we do for you? Am I caller number 9? Oh, okay, you are caller 9, Shelley.
She's trying to fool you.
Oh my gosh. Yes, you are. I've tried like 4 or 5 times already and I can never get through.
Well, you did it. See, persistence is a virtue and it paid off for you.
Woohoo! Yes, it is.
You are now registered to win the Fox $1,000 Thursday drawing. In fact, you're the first one to get registered for the next one coming up next Thursday, and you are all set. You can cruise until next Thursday at 7:20 when we have that drawing. The other people will want to get signed up at some point. There are 3 more opportunities today, 11, 20, 220, and 520. Good luck to you, Shelley, from 103.9 The Fox.
Thank you.
So we're talking yesterday about, or the day before, or the day before that, whenever it was we were talking about it, but if you've got your microphone on, the on position on your phone, the phone is hearing all kinds of things that you're talking about. And I don't know if there's somebody sitting in a tower that's listening or if this is some kind of AI thing, but this has been a deal for a while. And that is that if you get to talking about anything for any number of times, or it's something that you show when you're on your phone that you have an interest in, even if you're not talking to somebody on the phone, whether it be on a phone call, on a FaceTime, whatever, just simply having your phone nearby when you're talking about it to anybody, you'll all of a sudden start to see a preponderance of ads or other stories that deal with that particular topic show up in your feed. And so, was the Fireball story a coincidence? It could be. It would be a long shot coincidence in my book if it were. I think it's got more to do with the fact that this is a thing that the iPhone, or for that matter, just smartphone industry in general, is able to do, to tap into your life, find out what interests you and what you'll pay attention to if it shows you all kinds of items or stories about that in your feed on social media. But I was told a while back, quite a while back, that if you have your microphone set off to the off position so that it's not on unless you're talking to somebody on the phone, that won't be so much of an issue. Because then you're not broadcasting it essentially unknowingly to the world. But this is the kind of thing that shows people on Facebook or Instagram or any of the other social media sites what it is that you're interested in. And so, okay, let's keep feeding them all kinds of information on that just to keep them flipping through whatever it is that the platform is that you're doing. You like the setup? Am I in my basement? I am. How about that? Been doing it for the last 8 years. I was even able to bring Roy Moore, our afternoon host, was able to make his first visit here yesterday and see the setup and see what's going on. So he had to pick up some equipment from me, so he stopped by on the way to doing a live broadcast from a store which is not all that far away from here. And he was happy about it. And I love it. I love the fact that you can do that. More than anything else, what I really kind of love about it is the lack of commute, Jer Bear. Because you tend to realize over the years, and I've been doing this for a long, long time, so I was commuting to radio stations for over 40 years before this became an advantage to be able to do. The fact that you can do this remotely. And I'm thinking to myself, all those years that I was driving a half an hour, 45 minutes in one way, and then making the return trip later. That's an hour and a half, almost 2 hours in the vehicle every single day for a long time. This goes to prove the government's always listening to. Well, it's not necessarily just the government, boss lady. It's everybody that's listening to you. Everybody's listening to you, and everybody knows what your business is. If you aren't careful about that, you have to be careful about shutting your voice off to the rest of the world. And of course, if you go on live streaming, your life has now become an open book for everybody. And that was proven yesterday. In my book, that was proven yesterday. And some mornings in the snow, Royal Rachel's on Facebook reminding us that those commutes many times are in the snow. I think she remembers one day when I had to dig myself out of about 4 feet of snow right in front of the building that we were working at that one morning, and there were only a couple of us that made it in that day, and she was one of them, and I was another.
If you happen to be smarter than Steph when it comes to porn, not many people are.
Did I win?
I don't remember, but
I don't remember.
last week, I don't remember.
I think I won.
You're number one, sorry. Number two, sorry. You are caller number 3. Who's on my phone? CJ. CJ, have you ever played this before, by the way?
No, but it sounds amazing.
It is. The way it works is we're going to be playing a game with Steph here called...
Jer Bear remembers those other years and that other station. Yeah.
She has to tell you whether she thinks it's a porn star.
We got there every day, whether it was wind, rain, snow, 95 degrees, whatever it was, we got there.
You stick around for a minute? Gotcha. You hold on.
Now we don't have to worry so much about that.
So we're going to play Porn Star Weatherman next, but directly after that, yeah, we got something else for you. What's it called? Yeah, it's called Steph's Fox Flashback. So yeah, another chance yet to win coming up here on the Foxhole Morning Show. Stick around for all of that because we've got, let me see here, 3 opportunities to win in 20 minutes. Who else does that?
Man, that's a lot.
Who else does that?
Nobody in this market.
Absolutely nobody else does that. But
Boss Lady is not a fan of Porn Star Weatherman.
I'm sorry, I'm
It's the only part of Friday she doesn't like.
It's time to get to that.
Or she doesn't like me talking about commuting. One of those. One of those. I don't know which one it was she was referring to. She's probably talking about the commute, like she just did from Twitch over to YouTube.
Thinking about a new deck or replacing an existing deck in your backyard, PVC is the way to go, and Michigan Lumber is the go-to source for quality deck products. See them all at Michigan.
So you're saying, Boss Lady, that you are just not happy about knowing how much about porn Steph knows? That's you saying? The porn garbage. See? Jer Bear went on a tour of that other station back in 06. It was just a small cubicle, considering there were 3 other stations in the same building. That is the way of radio these days. In fact, that's been the radio in the last 20, 30 years almost, where you have a whole lot of stations. And we only had 4, 1 in each corner of the building. There are other markets and other radio groups where there can be as many as 7 or 8 stations in the same building. Obviously a bigger building, but you can have that. All right, let me see what we got going here, since we got to do traffic before we get to what's going on with the... what's going on with that one, and you know she's going to wear earplugs during this entire bit. Boss Lady is not going to tune in. Okay, Rachel's back. She's in one of the 4 corners of that building where there are 4 stations. Rachel, we have on our YouTube site right now, among our viewership, one who has been watching and listening to our shows that were presented up there for a long time. He's talking 20 years worth of listening to that, so he'll remember you also. Calls himself Jer Bear. The new GM was impressed with your building when he arrived. It's kind of a cool building. It was nice. It was really neat the day that we opened, and we got a chance to open up on the air back in January of 2000 when we started at 9 a.m. that one morning on, I think it's January 19th of 2000. Started with the station at 9 o'clock, and by 30 seconds after that had shut the thing down because Jody hit the space bar on the computer, and we didn't know that shut everything off.
Here's great news. The solution is Terry Allen. Every building is unique, so every system and installation should be unique. And the way Terry Allen approaches it is even more.
Okay, Jer Bear, Royal Rachel is saying hi. She's going to pop over to YouTube in just a second. She's over on Facebook right now. Watch, she's still at that other station that you're referring to, but she'll stop in and visit us for a few moments to kind of get ready for the day that she has ahead while she's on over there. With those stations running off the same transmitter? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, let's see what we got going here. Like and, by the way, if you're on YouTube, like and subscribe. We're going to keep growing. We're doing this one viewer at a time, and we're kind of up 60 some viewers right now, so as subscribers. So we got to keep going. If we're going to get to 1,000 so that we can do this on YouTube live by itself without having to do 3 at once, it's going to take us a while to do it. Okay. Some people gain additional subscribers overnight, but they have to do something really wild for that to happen. Usually something that will eventually land them on Porn Star or Weatherman. And then you don't have Boss Lady's attention when that happens because she hates that bit.
Tech has led to AI-powered hearing aids that'll make your experience even more incredible.
Okay, now Rachel has joined us on YouTube.
Professional Hearing Clinic and ask them about these groundbreaking hearing solutions.
Royal Rachel.
Artificial intelligence to instantly adjust to any listening environment by simply tapping your ear. That's the cue for the AI built into these to analyze.
Although we are on Facebook and Twitch also, for those who are still not sure about what to do and where to be on these Friday mornings, or for that matter, Mondays and Wednesdays. Any day that doesn't start with a T, we're doing these on multi-streaming basis. And we're doing our traffic in a second here. And then Porn Star Weatherman. And then it's Steph's Fox Flashback. Later on, we got Food Fighting we'll do. We'll do the Friday Morning Primal Scream. All that stuff. Still got the crash involving injury in Flint at Pasadena Avenue at DuPont Street that we're still paying attention to and they're still working on. And we still got the tire in the roadway on eastbound 69 just before Center Road in Flint. It's been there for a while. Nobody's been picking it up yet. No other problems to tell you about. And for updated vehicle city traffic information, check it out at classicfox.com/traffic. If you spot a crash or unusual slowdown, let us know at 810-230-WRSR. That is 810-230-9777 to be a traffic tipster on 103.9 The Fox.
It's time for Porn Star or Weatherman. Do you know your porn? Steph does.
I just want to giggle. I don't know why.
She's playing against C.J. Brown from Flint. C.J., do you know your porn?
Nah, a little bit, but yeah.
CJ, you sound awfully young. Are you old enough to play this game?
Don't tell my mom.
Okay.
Now he's lying. Nice try.
All right, let's do this, CJ.
All right, I give her the name of a personality, and then she tells you whether she thinks it's a Porn Star Weatherman. You have to agree with her or disagree with her. Get it right 3 times before she fools you 3 times. That's how you get the Jester's gift certificate from 103.9 to Fox. First one on right off the box here. Steph, Gary Lay.
Gary Lay.
Gary Lay.
Does the last name spelled L-A-Y by chance?
I'm not going to tell you that. Listen, you're the one who's supposed to be the expert here for crying out loud. I don't need to give you hints.
You know, with a last name like that, I'd say a porn star.
Porn
I'm
star.
gonna go with the weather.
You what?
No, the weatherman.
You're going with Weatherman? You'd be right. Yeah.
Oh!
Yeah.
All right.
He's a weatherman in Providence.
Sheila Sunshine is on Facebook right now. She's just joined us for those who are not seeing her because she's on Facebook.
What?
Was probably a relative of Roy Moore.
I was going to say, does he have 2 O's in his name?
He does. has, actually. Rodney Moore.
Oh, well then.
Porn star or weatherman?
Porn star.
Well, hold on.
I'm
It's
gonna
up
say
to
porn.
Steph. It's not up to you, CJ, for crying out loud.
You know what, CJ? I was going to say porn star too, all right?
All right, she says porn star. You say porn star? CJ?
Yeah.
Okay. CJ, you got to pay attention here, bud.
We're going with porn star.
All right, porn star, all right.
We're going with porn star.
All right. That's wrong.
He's a weatherman?
Yeah.
No.
No, I'm sorry. Did I say Rodney Moore?
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. That was right.
All right.
He is a porn star.
All right.
So it's 1-1 now.
All right.
Yeah, catch up, John.
CJ's up by 2.
Yeah, pay attention. You're right, CJ.
Yeah, CJ's up by 2.
Oh, he is?
Yeah, he is. He agreed with me, and it was porn star.
Yeah, but in
Yeah.
the first one, I thought that you guys... All right, never mind.
No,
I'm
we're
going to
good.
go by you.
CJ's up by 2.
Oh, wow. All right, so you can get this one right. You're going all the way, and I'm going to go have a drink. Matt Kirkwood,
Matt Kirkwood.
porn star or weatherman? Steph?
Well, he does have wood in his last name, but it's Kirkwood. I'm going to say weather person.
She says Matt Kirkwood is a weather person. What do you say?
Kirkwood. We'll give it a shot and go with porn star.
Yeah, he's a weather person in Grand Rapids, by the way.
Oh, all right. So,
Yeah.
all right, I'm back in the game, CJ. Let's see how you do here.
All right. This will be fun. Sven Sundgaard. Sven Sundgaard.
Sven.
Sven Sundgaard. Porn star or
Oh,
weather?
I don't even know that name.
I thought we were going to focus on American porn.
Sven Sundgaard.
For no good reason, I'm going to say weather person.
Yeah, I'd have to say weather.
In Minneapolis. So, yeah.
Hey, all right, CJ.
Here's the weather girl in Minneapolis. Congratulations. You got yourself a Jester's gift certificate, and you get to say it. What does it he have to say now?
He says, I know more about porn than Steph Barber.
Go for it, man. Make it
I know
pop.
more porn about Steph Barber.
And I'm going to call your mom, CJ.
Oh, no.
All right, brother. Congratulations.
You were fun. Thank you.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
All right.
The Foxhole Morning Show on 103.9 The Fox. Steph's Fox Flashback.
Obviously, I'm going to have to expand my show prep parameters.
There you go.
So he made news this week when he missed a few stops on his Oneness Tour 2025. Now, the first show postponed was at the Majestic Theater in San Antonio on Tuesday, where he collapsed during the sound check. He was hospitalized for severe dehydration and discharged, but he missed another show at the Smart Financial Center in Sugar Land, Texas on Wednesday after testing positive for COVID. He's expected to pick up the tour again tonight in Thackerville, Oklahoma. He's got a busy summer and fall planned with the night at the New Orleans Jazz Festival on May 1st, an 8-night run at the House of Blues in Las Vegas, several dates in Europe, and then several more nights at the House of Blues in Las Vegas during the months of September and November. Let's get into it. From his 1977 album Moonflower, it's Carlos Santana with She's Not There on 103.9 The Fox.
And there you go. Another rousing round of Porn Star Weatherman for you on this Friday morning here, where it's 51 degrees. Gonna be about 73 today. The cherry blossoms are all over the place now. It's going to be in the 70s again Monday, Tuesday next week. Weather around the world. We haven't asked you guys to check in with that for some time. What you got outside your door and what you expecting? In Jersey, they've been expecting smoke lately, and they got a 19-year-old kid now in custody for allegedly starting that, what turned into rather devastating wildfire that has consumed over 15,000 acres at this point. Jared Bear's never heard of that song before. That's one of the reasons why we have this particular feature on now, because Steph can dig right back into the library and find songs that maybe were popular at one point, but then kind of fell out of the limelight of regular rotation and now are back occasionally through things like this. You're able to remember, oh my gosh, I either haven't had that chance to hear that in a long time, or like Jared Bear, I've never heard that one at all. 56 going to 62 in Culver City, California. By the way, this is the same song that the Zombies made a big hit out of. That was the big popular version of the song She's Not There. The Zombies did that one in the 60s. That's right. The Zombies. You hadn't heard this version so much. 67 with rain moving in today in Alabama. We're supposed to get rain today, and it is probably very necessary. We haven't had that much. We're going to have some today, but then after that, things are going to be fairly decent the rest of the weekend, back in the 60s Sunday, and as I say, 70s Monday and Tuesday. So winter is definitely gone for the season, which is cool, because we're getting close to May. I mean, it's going to be May here next month. You're going to be hearing Justin Timberlake's name showing up just incessantly next Thursday when it's May 1st, and it's going to be May because that's the old... You didn't know Santana did a cover version? He did, and that's what we're hearing, but we can't listen to it very closely or we're going to get nailed again by the people on Facebook and Meta. Going to be 78 right today in Alabama, 78 degrees. So it's looking nice. I mean, everybody's kind of getting back into the swing of it being spring here. We're getting festivals, too. We've got a festival in the 80s. It's called Bringing Back the 80s in Frankenmuth this weekend. We've got the Freeland Walleye Festival around here this weekend. Swinging to one of the neighboring counties, we've got a thing called the Shepherd Maple Syrup Festival going on. This is the weekend where really kind of the warmer weather theme starts to hit, where we have a lot of people fishing and going to festivals and that kind of thing. 80s in New Jersey, reports Tina. Sheila here she's now on YouTube. Was over on Facebook a little bit ago, and we mentioned, I think, earlier this morning that it hit over 80 degrees yesterday. We're talking in terms of the upper 70s, but it managed to get to 82 around here. And it was very, very nice to be outside. It was great. It's the first time this year that I can remember walking around outside where I wasn't wearing a jacket or even so much as a hoodie. That was kind of cool. Different, and today probably be one of those as well, being able to do that. We're going to get to the news here in a few minutes. We're also going to be able to talk about food fighting, and we're going to do the Friday morning primal scream. And right now we're going to get the answer to that question that Steph's going to ask you.
Showing off. It's Carlos Santana with She's Not There. I love the way that song starts out so softly, so gently,
Right.
and then it ends with that great big huge jam. I love that.
Rocking out.
Yes. And I was trying to think, wasn't it Pine Knob where Carlos Santana was rushed to the hospital during a performance? Was that 2022?
It was. I thought it was last year, but maybe it was the year before that. Or it would have been 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I don't know what year, but yes, it was definitely Pine Knob.
Yeah, and poor Carlos, man, he's 77.
Yeah.
And he's got this massive tour in Europe.
Walleye Fest rummage sale today for Sheila.
The House of Blues in Las Vegas. And I'm just, man, I picture, I gave this a lot of thought yesterday for some reason. I picture.
Okay, first time I started to read that sentence that Boss Lady said she's going to step into the kitchen and turn on the oven, she finished up by saying she can throw the cinnamon rolls, and I thought she was going to say so I can put my head in after the porn star bit.
I mean, I've followed him very closely for a long time. He seems of the type that he worries about the rest of the band members, everybody getting their money.
I gotcha.
It's like he feels like he has to perform so that they can get paid.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, he is the breadwinner, isn't he?
He kind of is.
Yeah.
I mean, and he feels, those people all are beholden to him
Sure.
for their income.
I gotcha.
And if he takes a couple of months off, everybody's screwed.
Yeah. Plus, I think he really does enjoy playing.
Oh, well, he
So
does.
there is that, yeah.
He shows up everywhere.
You betcha, yeah.
Yeah.
So now with the trivia question, the phone number that you'll need is 810-230-9777. You are playing for Great Grub at Jester's in the form of a gift certificate. I'll give you $20 to spend there. What was the first instrument Carlos Santana learned to play? It was not the guitar.
Yeah, I'm guessing not.
It was not.
Because you brought it up, so yeah, that's a good one to try and find the answer to real quick. 810-230-9777, of course, the number you want to call if you want to take a guess at it.
Good morning, the Fox. What was Carlos Santana's first instrument?
It's a complete guess for piano.
Not the piano. Good guess, but not the piano.
So it's violin.
Good morning, the Fox. What instrument did Carlos Santana learn to play first?
The violin?
Yes.
The violin.
It was
Holy
the
cow,
violin.
are you kidding me?
Jesse learned to play violin at the age of 5 and then guitar at the age of 8.
Wow.
I
I
think
like
that was...
his music, though.
I'm sorry?
Say that again?
I said I like his music. He's got good music.
He really does. He really does. In everything that he does. Who are we talking to this morning?
Talking to Ryan.
Ryan. Is it Ryan or Brian?
Ryan with R.
All right. What are you doing this morning?
I'm on my way to Ubley.
Oh, okay. For work?
Yeah, I got a job up there. We got to
Okay.
finish up.
That's the only reason I think people would go to Ubley, right?
Gateway to Case-New, so,
That's
yeah.
true.
Well, unless you want to go pheasant hunt, that's another place to go out pheasant hunt.
Good to know, Ryan. What city do you live in?
I live in Burton.
All right, perfect, Ryan. You've got a $20 gift certificate coming your way for Jesters. You hang on tight. We'll get some information off the air. But who just hooked you up with Stuff's Fox Flashback?
103.9 to 5.
Perfect.
For your commute.
There you go, another big winner. Tina, once again, letting everybody know why you want to keep showing up here every single day to our live stream, because you never know what's going to happen here. Tina, no clothes yet. Remember, she doesn't get dressed until like the tail end of this thing, right? Jeez. Every day we just kind of get closer and closer to that edge. Just, you know, sometimes the stories from the shower just write themselves with Tina. Get to the news here in a few minutes. I'm going to talk about doing traffic that we do. And I get a chance to, once in a while, actually witness stuff myself on the road that's kind of headline making. We have one particular main street that runs through town here where there's a fair amount of traffic. You wouldn't think that for a town that's this size, but there's a fair amount of traffic, particularly in the middle part or late part of the afternoon. It's like everybody gets out of work at the same time. And I got to tell you, too, in this town that not every one of the places that are open for business keep the same hours every single day. People tend to work when they want to around here. There are places that in this, and I don't know why it is this way, but they may say on their window or on their door or in their Yelp pages that they're open till 5 o'clock. But if they're there at 4:30 in the afternoon, sometimes you're lucky. And then they may not necessarily open the same time every single day. It's just their hours are not consistent. And I'm talking about a lot of businesses around here. A lot of there was an insurance company that I drove by yesterday, and the gal who's normally at the front desk, and you can see through the front window because it's like almost a completely floor-to-ceiling window kind of thing on there, was 4:37 in the afternoon. She's gone for the day. There have been other days I see she's there at 5:30, depending on what's going on over there, right? And every business around here seems to be that way. Here, we're on from 5 o'clock in the morning until whenever we're done here, which is for us, it's around 9 o'clock. Every day, Monday through Friday, but you can always count on that. Now, with these other businesses around here, that's not the case. The tax offices, predictably, are kind of quiet these days now and have been for a week. But now, that's going on. So as I'm driving through on this main street through town, I do get to occasionally see some kind of headline-making traffic scenarios. One of them happened about a week and a half ago where right in front of the sheriff's department, which is on the main street, there was a major crash. And I mean, these two vehicles had hit I got there right afterwards. I'm driving by, and they're in the process of they're trying to clean up. There's tons and tons of debris all over the road, primarily the plastic from this one car, plastered all over the road in bits. And they're taking this kid. He probably was the driver of one car, but by the time I got there, they were hauling him out of the vehicle on a stretcher, and he didn't look like he was in the best of shape from this vehicle. And I'd say he was probably 17, 18 years old, just as a guess, driving by. I don't know how that turned out as far as his eventual outcome, but it wasn't. He was hit pretty bad. 2 days later, as I'm driving along and I'm heading toward the freeway, Now, if you hop onto I-75 from around here and you want to, let's say if you're going west and you want to go south, you don't make a left turn, you have to loop down, do one of those loop downs, and then start heading southbound on the freeway. And as I drive over the freeway overpass is when that loop down part is where you pick it up and then take it down onto the southbound side, heading south on 75. Right past that point where you're looping down is the other roadway, which takes the people who have been going southbound on 75 to the exit up to our town here in Clio. Well, as I'm driving along with Jacko, heading to Birch Run to take him up for his morning exercise session / bathroom break, I see a car in front of me that is getting ready to make a right turn onto what he thinks is this loop down roadway that takes you southbound 75. But he overshot that, and he is going now on the road, which is the exit ramp to from southbound 75, but where he's going is onto it. He's heading onto the southbound side of 75, but he wants to go northbound. I don't know what the outcome of that situation was, but I was watching in amazement as this happened with this guy, because there was somebody who was waiting after he'd exited 75 to make a turn onto our roadway over here, the big major road over here. And he was looking and seeing as this other car goes by him the wrong way down what is an exit ramp onto southbound 75 when he wants to go northbound. I don't know what the outcome of that was. I did not hear about any head-on crashes that afternoon. I did follow up to see if there were any. There weren't. So it would be interesting to see how far he went before he realized he had to turn around, and then if he did, how he did it. I've been fortunate. We've had a lot of those wrong way crashes. Those things usually happen middle of the night when somebody's maybe hammered or something, somehow impaired, or can't see because the roadway is, because of the weather maybe, has messed up your vision. You can't quite see where you're going, and then suddenly you're in the wrong direction. I don't know how that happens, but it can, particularly in the wintertime. But in this particular case, it was the late part of the morning. It was sort of sunny out. No problems that would allow you to have to get onto the wrong side of the freeway. But that's what happened anyway. All right, getting ready for the weekend. You guys got anything going on special? We said we've got festivals around here galore for folks to attend. Do you guys have anything in your area that, well, we found out Sheila's getting ready to do some garage sailing or that type of thing. Driving can be scary, Tina. I'll tell you what, you really, it's crazy when you think about how much trust you put in the drivers around you. Because occasionally I'll think about this when I'm sitting at a light and I'm watching the people that are driving by me, either making turns or going the opposite direction, and taking a look to see who it is that's actually behind the wheel of that vehicle. And I'll see somebody who looks like they're 100 that are behind the vehicle, or somebody who is texting who is behind the wheel. I told you about sitting at a light one time and watching as somebody to my left is making a right turn and going to be driving around, going past, and almost went wide with a turn and almost hit me because she was texting on the phone while she's making a right turn and almost took a too wide turn into me. Almost.
It's still there. The chance is still there, but the chances are diminishing somewhat. 74 for a high. That rain will end overnight, one way or the other, down to 45, and then tomorrow will be mostly cloudy.
Boss Lady was a very cautious driver. You can only, that's the thing, you can only drive the best you can drive, and you have to put your faith in the other drivers around you that they're going to do their part, and they don't always.
It's a Polish celebration from Easter Monday. It's something that we used to celebrate in Cleveland a lot. It's celebrated in Buffalo a lot because they're both big Polish communities there. It was celebrated in Detroit quite a bit, actually, up until somehow.
Tina says too many old people where she lives.
Detroit. But the weekend has the Schmingus or Dingus Festival going on in Grand Rapids.
Now, what is that exactly?
Well, it's a celebration of springtime, but in the Polish, it was a day for women to ask men to marry them or go out on a date. So it's kind of like, what do they call that in Little Abner? I forgot what it was called, but
Wasn't that Sadie Hawkins Day?
Sadie Hawkins Day, thank you very much. So it's like Sadie Hawkins Day, but it's the Polish version. And it even involved, it depends on where you are because the different traditions evolve differently in different places. But one of the things that we used to talk about in Buffalo all the time, and they still talk about it in other Polish communities, is it was also a day for boys to get pussy willows and, believe it or not, strike girls on their calves with pussy willow branches. Yes. I have no idea what that has to do with anything, but it was the way us Polish people felt it was celebrated. So anyway, it's a big deal. And Earth Day was this week too. So there are in our like Ann Arbor, of course, they're doing a big Earth Day festival. There are several of them this weekend in Washtenaw County. Several different Earth Day festivals going on down there. So those are some of the spring-like things that are going on. If you're
Did you see that they were planting sequoia trees in Detroit?
Yeah, we talked about that on the show. They're going to be like 3,000 of them or something like that.
Really?
Sequoia trees in Novi, no, not Novi. I've forgotten now. I don't have the story in front of me, but there is one community in general down there in Detroit that is going to be. And the reason they're doing it, one of the big reasons is sequoia trees are probably the best pollution filters you can get out there.
Yeah, they said they were planted for air quality.
Yeah, they will make a difference in the air quality if you plant enough of them. And these are the big, giant sequoias we're talking about here. Going to be planted. I think they've already planted some of them.
I had no idea that they could exist outside of California,
Yeah,
or at least a warmer climate.
Right, yeah. No, I kind of didn't know that either until I started reading about them. And I guess we have several others in the state as well.
Huh, pretty cool.
Yeah, but they're going to be doing that. They're planting massive amounts of them in the Detroit area. 7:59. Let's head on over to the
News time.
now for all the real news. With that, here's Hal Maas.
5 things you should know from 103.9 The Fox, brought to you by Fick Landscape Supplies. As we spring into the new season, it's time to get that driveway in shape with tons of driveway material, plus the finest topsoil, compost, and humus. Fick Landscape Supplies with 2 locations to serve you. Find out more at ficklandscapesupplies.com. Like us on Facebook. Now let's get thick and busy. An attempted heroism turning tragic for a Saginaw man. As MLive reports, the body of 20-year-old Alejandro Gonzalez was recovered this week after he had tried to save a female friend who was battling a strong current in the Caribbean Sea while in Cancun. Now comes the task of returning Gonzalez's body to Michigan, so a GoFundMe page has been established toward that, and friends are putting on a spaghetti dinner fundraiser tonight at Sips 476 at in the same building as Miles Market on Gratiot Road in Saginaw Township. It starts at 5:30. Flint Community School District getting a state grant that's to be used for consolidation. Reports saying that 4 school buildings now in use will eventually be closing. President Trump comes to Michigan next week. The White House saying Trump will visit Macomb County on Tuesday to celebrate 100 days in office during his second term. Few other details of that visit have been released to this point. Pistons lost to the Knicks last night, 118-116 in Game 3 of their playoff series. That means the Knicks now lead that series 2-1, heading into Game 4, which is Sunday afternoon at Little Caesars Arena, 1 p.m. tip. Lions chose Ohio State defensive lineman Tyleik Williams with the 28th pick in the first round of the NFL draft. Miami quarterback Cam Ward was the first overall pick. He goes to the Tennessee Titans. Tigers off yesterday. They're back at it tonight, opening a weekend series with the Baltimore Orioles. That one at Comerica Park at 6:40 p.m. And Great Lakes Loons continue their road trip. They beat the Lake County Captains last night 3-1. And to cap this one off, yet another case of measles reportedly surfacing in Ingham County. A 1-year-old boy testing positive for the disease, and health officials say the victim in this case experienced mild symptoms. There have now been 9 cases of measles confirmed in Michigan to date. That's 5 things you should know from 103.9 The Fox. Cloudy skies to start off with, and then rain and thunderstorms likely move in by midday, possibly continuing off and on into the afternoon. Temperatures to top out around 73 degrees today with light and variable winds that'll shift to the southwest this afternoon. We're expecting to see periodic rain showers tonight and lows around 45. Tomorrow to be mostly cloudy, much cooler, only reaching about 52. And for Sunday, it looks like sunshine and 65. Right now it's 52 in Flint, and in Saginaw, 48. Yeah, measles hadn't been around. It hasn't been, but it's around again. In fact, I think, Chris would know this. In New Mexico, last I saw, there were 65 cases of it in his state. So far we're doing, fingers crossed, all right. We only have 9 cases so far, but 9 is too many. Highly contagious. And in fact, the latest incident that we're made aware of in this state is the second child. There's a 1-year-old boy who was infected very close proximity to when somebody else, another child, was also infected. So that's the thing that you're dealing with right now with this. Yes, the Lansing area, Ingham County. We had 1 case in Genesee County early on. In fact, I think the second case was in Genesee County. What's happening now is that there is a push on to get kids vaccinated. And after the COVID situation of 5 years ago, there are a lot of parents that are thinking, about vaccines. But still, that's a pretty important thing to do. I mean, measles, measles was a thing when I was a kid. In fact, I had them when I was real young. But it was a little bit of a different situation than it is now. All right. Let us give you an opportunity to smile at Annabelle. We're going to do the food fighting in a couple minutes. This is a Maltese who lives in Glendale, Arizona. This is Annabelle. There you have it. Annabelle. Smiling at you so you can smile back and get your weekend started. Whoops. Get your weekend started the way it should be. Aw. You dressed yet, Tina? We need to get a check of that. Clothes check. Real cute. Yeah. Get ready to take His Highness out a little bit later on to run around and get in trouble with the world. I never see any other dog doing what he does. When he, particularly here, it's like he knows this. He owns this neighbor. Okay, putting on shoes. Okay, that doesn't say anything about anything else though. Just shoes. That I've never seen any other dog walk around just arbitrarily growling. Yet, that's what he does. Jacko goes out and just arbitrarily growls. There's nobody around. There are no other dogs. There are no other people. He'll still walk around. And he does that here. He doesn't do it so much when we're up in Birch Run because that's not his designated territory. That's where he goes to exercise and have fun. But he, in this area, believes he knows and he owns the neighborhood, all of it, all the region. So the minute that he goes out, he growls at the world just to let him know he's coming. Angelica had all the shots, Boss Lady says. All right. Very good. Very good. When it comes to COVID, I've had all the shots that except for the latest one. I haven't had the latest one yet. In fact, I got one of those automated messages texting me the other day from the drugstore saying, because I've been getting them all at the same place, that's time for your vaccination. Well, okay, that might be the latest one. I don't know. I have to go and check. I don't know, because they weren't specific on what it was for. Was it COVID or flu? Because I always get alerted on that too, even though I don't get them. And then now measles is being added to it. There's all kinds of other things you have to be careful of. As much as anything, the thing about COVID that prompted me to get for sure vaccinated all the time was the potential for being able to infect someone around you. Even if you didn't have it, you could still be a carrier for somebody else. And I was a little concerned about that. I didn't want anybody else that ever had anything to do with me to get that. As much as I didn't want to get it, I certainly didn't want to pass it off on somebody else. So we made sure that we got all the vaccinations there. Okay, you know what? We got a minute to get started with, because I got a whole bunch of these. posts, these treasure trove of tweets that have been gathered up here about food from our food facts that people have been expressing to the world through their social media postings, and you might like to hear. You can't spell the right word for that. See, spirits, ghosts, animals, and children, very easy to see them. Okay, Fritos is going to help this dizziness thing that you got going. You need a blood pressure check. Antoine V. Staley says peppermint patties are, and then he gives the vomit emoji, the puke emoji. Peppermint patties are the puke emoji. I love those. Peppermint patties are awesome. Just super good. Super good. That's just a little bit of a taste of what we're going to be dealing with here over the next couple minutes when we get into this. And then the Friday morning Primal Scream is coming up too. And by the way, since I said that, I probably better go and make sure that we're able to get to them. So hang on a second. Let me get, before I forget. Almost did. Last Friday, we didn't get a chance to do it because of our technical issues that seem to have been worked out. Let's see. Let's see here. Here it is. We seem to have it. We do. Better kill the sound, though. There we go. Okay, now we're good. Let's see. Two, three. Okay, was still got that tire out there. Wow, jeez. Roseville Guy is here now on Twitch. Morning, Roseville Guy. Welcome to our simul stream. Got a lot of people on YouTube this morning. We've had some Facebook population, not much. Twitch has been represented in a couple of categories. Did Roy bring a new converter box? No, he didn't. He actually took the connector that we use called a Comrex that was left over here last week after our fiasco trying to get this thing on the air and connected to the studio Friday. We couldn't do it. He brought me we have a portable version of one of those. Johnny brought that over, and I was going to be able to use it if necessary, but then the main box that was our problem last week got fixed remotely by the company that manufactures them. So it was just left here just as a backup until Roy needed it Thursday to take it over yesterday to Family Farm and Home to do his live on-location broadcast. And now on location is Johnny and Steph.
Back up and running. We had a shutdown on that a little while ago. We were talking about Dingus Day, the Dingus Festival in Grand Rapids, the Polish celebration that's always held on Easter Monday, but they moved it into this weekend in Grand Rapids so they could have a festival built around it because Michigan,
Sure.
the way it is, we have a festival for everything. She's clarifying what we were talking about, the water and the Pussy Willows.
Yeah.
So the guys throw water on the girls and then lightly strike them with the Pussy Willows to show interest. The girls do it the following Tuesday, I guess.
Isn't that assault?
Not in today's day.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Jason is now on Twitch and Home. Our world traveler is back in Vegas right now,
Forever.
out of trouble, but on Twitch. Morning, Jason.
If I remember right, if I remember the story about this from my grandmother, this is just something they did in the Polish communities in like Detroit, Cleveland, and Buffalo.
Okay.
So it's pretty much just us. that are involved in this. And it's also called Dingus Schmingus for some reason. I don't remember the reasoning behind that.
That's awesome.
But yeah, that's the Easter Monday celebration. Which that wasn't Easter Monday. Yeah, it was Easter Monday this past Monday. We already.
Yeah.
Man.
Yep.
It's a week. It seems like Easter was weeks ago now, doesn't it?
It does.
It's weird.
But it's not even been a full week yet.
No, my gosh. Anyway.
Where's your birthday week? You're all screwed up.
Yeah, that's probably the reason for it, too.
Mm-hmm.
That and the fact that you bought me vodka for my birthday. It's 8:13.
Doesn't mean you have to drink it all this week.
Well, I'm going to make Bloody Marys with it. She bought me an infused vodka. It really does. I tasted just a little bit of it. It was like a half a shot. I haven't really drank much of it, but I think it'll be great in Bloody Marys because it is chipotle laced.
Well, I know how you like the spicy stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It looks like whiskey, though.
Yeah, it
Got
does, doesn't
that
it?
brown
Yeah, that
tint to it,
amber
yeah.
color.
Yeah.
It's very pretty.
8:13 here in the foxhole right now. It's Steph and Johnny and, of course, Hal Maas coming up with the traffic. And speaking of traffic, this is important. Just found this out. A utility relocation project is going to require intermittent total closures this weekend. Get this. On I-94 near the Detroit Metro Airport in Romulus.
No!
You're running late for a flight. You're going to have a real surprise waiting for you.
God,
You
and
get down
I
there.
always run late for my flights.
Drivers planning to be in the area between 2 a.m. and 10 a.m. on Sunday will want to plan for delays on the westbound highway between Ecorse Road and Middle Belt Road. The DNR, rather the Department of Transportation, the DOT, is saying that the utility work may affect traffic heading to the airport. Good luck with that.
I have been on I-94 stock as my flight was set to leave.
Yeah.
It departed without me, but it was not a great feeling.
Yeah, I've been on I-94 pulled over by a
Oh,
cop for speeding
yeah.
when I was running late to get my flight. Yeah, that didn't work out well.
Did he give you a break?
No.
Or he gave you a ticket?
Give me a ticket.
Man.
8:15. Good morning.
That smart device isn't cheap.
All right, we'll get to the traffic, and things are developing here now that I want to get to. With that, then we'll get back to our food thing. But we're also keeping tabs on Tina. Evidently, things are starting to happen there as well.
Stop in today and get 10% off any new helmet. Vehicle City Harley Davidson, Miller Road at I-75 down Austin Parkway and online at VehicleCityHarley.com. Don't forget to give them a like on Facebook.
It's that time of year again with the crazy weather and storms. Ricky and his crew specialize in tree removal, tree trimming, stump grinding, land clearing, and dangerous removal. And with insurance companies' 24-hour emergency service. Highly trained.
All right. Tina, didn't you say you had an 8:30 appointment or something?
Stump or land clearing. Looks like it's
Tina Jr.'s not there with you, is she?
5-star reviews. Call Ricky at 810
Or is she?
657663 and look him up on Google.
And be sure to give them a like on Facebook.
Jack and the Beanstalk, your local source for all your stone and soil solutions. Looking to build, landscape, or boost your soil's health? Jack and the Beanstalk has you covered. Now featuring Dairy Dew, Michigan-made all-natural compost, and premium soil blends like straight Dairy Dew topsoil blend, safe green lawn, flower dew, and veggie dew. Plus, they offer hydroseeding soil amendments to establish a strong, healthy lawn. For 34 years, Jack and the Beanstalk has been your go-to for top dressing, grading, and seeding. Visit them at 6033 Richfield Road, Flint. Open Monday through Friday 8 to 5, Saturday 8 to 1. Call 810-736-1904.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger from Mouth.
Jason says he found out yesterday he's a type 2 diabetic now. He's saying this on Twitch, so you don't see his comments if you're here. All right, boss lady, have a great weekend. She is going to head out into the wild of the weekend that is in Alabama.
Right now, 16-ounce packages of fresh, juicy strawberries are on sale for only $1.99 each with your digital coupon. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Hey, Tigers fans, the Michigan Lottery has something new to sing about. Introducing the Detroit Tigers games. A Tigers instant ticket, pull tab, and 2 online games. Buy me some Tigers games, wish me luck.
Maybe I'll win $500,000.
Enjoy your favorite pastime and a chance to strike it rich.
So let's root for the Tigers.
With 1, 2, or 3 new ways to play
All right.
the new Detroit Tigers games, only from the Michigan Lottery.
Traffic is next.
With permission.
It's Kubota
Got some food fighting opinions. Got the Friday morning primal scream. Got the continuing travails of Tina coming up.
Now through June 30th, get 0 down and 0% EPR for 84 months. See KubotaOrangeDays.com for details. Alderman's is on M13 in Lennon and online at aldermans.com.
If you're an individual with a disability or someone in your family has a disability, you should sign up.
Okay, the exit ramp, or is that the entrance ramp? The entrance ramp to 23 is full of metal. Yeah, Jared Bear, the fact that 420 fell on Easter this year kind of dampened the enthusiasm for the date for the people over here that like to celebrate that. I still have not figured that one out at all, but they like to do that. So, oh boy, we're going to celebrate 420 Day until somebody called him up here a few weeks ago. So, that's on Easter, right? Oh. All right, Sebo is now here from, well, Michigan now, formerly of Nevada, transferred over from Utah to Nevada to Michigan. Just like a college football player. Somewhere different all the time. And a kind of a mess in Fenton Township, metal all over the roadway. This is going to be on the ramp from Thompson Road to northbound 23, so know that if you're in that area, that's going to be a bit of an annoyance for you and an imposition. Washing down a situation in Flint Township on northbound 75 just past Corunna Road from an earlier mishap. Also in the city of Flint, Chevrolet Avenue at University Avenue. We have a reported accident there. Cleaning up a crash elsewhere in Flint because of injury. Pasadena Avenue at DuPont Street. That's been a serious problem for a while. And we're still looking at the tire in the roadway. Yeah, it's been there for a while. Eastbound 69 just before Center Road in the city of Flint. So lots of things to have to dodge or keep an eye out for today. And for updated vehicle city traffic info, you check out ClassicFox.com/traffic. You'll get it. And if you spot a crash, let us know at 810-230-WRSR. That is 810-230-9777 to be a traffic tipster right here on 103.9 The Fox.
We got up to, 82 degrees yesterday down here. But up in the UP and the Sioux, they had to close down the Sioux locks because of ice.
Really? Oh my goodness.
It was 80 degrees all over the place down here. We were at 82. I checked the thermometer yesterday. But in the UP, the ice buildup in the Sioux locks caused an 8-hour delay for some of the big freighters and prompted the staff to get creative in clearing it out of the way so shipping could resume.
Oh, wow.
What a difference.
Jeez, a few hundred miles makes.
That's crazy, huh?
My goodness.
All right, 8:20 here live in the Foxhole with Johnny and Stephanie. Friday Funnies edition, which means the Scream is coming up on 103.9 The Fox.
Okay. Let's go back to this pile of posts that I had. And I want to give you one from Ernest Owens, who says, the need for additional condiments on food suggests that the meal is cheap and or flavorless. This has been my position. This is the whole basis for the Stuff on Stuff theory that I've been pushing for years. The need for additional condiments on food suggests that the meal is cheap and or flavorless. I take it to the next level. I say if the thing is starting off good, you can't make it better. If it's starting off exceptionally good as a piece of stuff, you can't make it better by trying to throw something on top of it. I've never found it happen. Maybe other people think they have. I've never. Translation: ketchup, mustard, mayo, and relish are excessive AF if you're eating well-prepared seasoned meat, sandwiches, and etc. The need for additional condiments on food suggests that the meal is cheap and or flavorless. Translation: ketchup, mustard, mayo, and relish are excessive AF if you're eating well-prepared seasoned meats, sandwiches, etc. So there. BD says, vanilla ice cream is without a doubt better than chocolate ice cream. Vanilla ice cream is without a doubt better than chocolate ice cream. Tina puts it in food. in food. You're talking about ketchup, mustard, etc. kind of stuff? Tina's our creative. She's, the one really who should have her own Food Network show. Now, Eric is a fan of chocolate ice cream, not of vanilla. I'll tell you, Jacko loves vanilla ice cream. Can't give him chocolate, but he loves vanilla ice cream. And I grew up on vanilla ice cream, so I got real used to it. Growing up, that was the only flavor I ever had until I was, I think, a teenager. Did you miss the dog? Yeah. The dog is from Arizona. This is Annabelle. That's Annabelle, what is this? The Maltese. Glendale, Arizona. Okay, your partner in crime wants to make sure you're okay, Thelma, a.k.a. Tina. Everything okay so far? The fact that you're answering us suggests that probably yes. Jerry Bear made chicken BLTs last night, and the only condiment added was Hellman's mayonnaise. Boy, that's too much right there. Okay. Jubal Harshaw says, anchovy stuffed olives are amazing. Anchovy stuffed olives are amazing. I'm going to see if they're going to do anything else now out of the Journey song. No, that's another. Keep forgetting. They play that whole second half of that song, which I never used to hear until I came to this station. Okay, that's a pass. Never too much, says Jer Bear. And Linda is a pass on that. Okay. How about this one? BMAC thinking all things made from sweet potatoes, including the actual sweet potato, are absolutely disgusting. All things made from sweet potatoes, including the actual sweet potato, are absolutely disgusting. You thought that was the end of the song, too. Every other place I've ever been or any other time I've heard that song, until I came here, it always was the end of the song. They always ended a cappella, but now they jump right into the second part of this tune that we're the only ones that I've heard. I've heard it before, but I'm the only one. This is the only place I've ever heard it played regularly. MPH is saying, I like Bacos better than real bacon bits. Eric loves anything sweet potato, even with fries. He's a sweet potato fan, even with fries. Sibo loves sweet potatoes. Loves them. Times 3. Linda thinks that sweet potatoes are not only good, they are good for you. And now, how many times while growing up did you, Linda, when somebody said, this is good for you, immediately hate it? Because that was always the phrase that if you wanted to get a kid to not eat something, tell them it's good for them. That was always the secret to making sure that the kid wouldn't eat it. This is good for you. Baked potato with sour cream and bacon bits, says Jared Bear. No. Bacon bits, yes. Baked potato, yes. You keep that sour cream the hell out of it. Man. But I like Bacos better than real bacon bits. I can't tell the difference, honestly. MPH is saying that. Denise 100% agrees. Hang on. Another song. Gives us time for more. Gives us time for more of these. But honestly, I can't tell the difference between Bacos and real bacon bits. So you go, for me, in my case, you go for what's cheaper. Richard McMahon said, liver made me go vegan. Liver made me go vegan. Eric loves bacon bits. Okay, well, can you tell the difference then, Eric, between bacon bits and Bacos? Can you tell the difference between those two? Has anybody tried to fool you? That would do it for Linda. That business about liver making you go vegan. You know, never had liver, but I know that the ratio of people that I've ever run into in my lifetime, which is extensive, that like liver versus those who don't like liver is in the distinct minority. In the distinct minority. Eric thinks it tastes the same. Oh, you're talking about Bacos and bacon bits? I think they do. I've never been able to tell the difference. Now, SIBO goes with liver with some onions and gravy. Liver with some onions and gravy. Boy, I don't know, SIBO. I don't know. You don't think Bacos are real bacon? Probably not. Probably not, but can you tell the difference between them? Can you tell the difference between them? It's kind of, for me, it's like the same thing as between frozen and fresh vegetables. I'm not sure I can tell a difference in the two. Some people absolutely insist on having fresh vegetables as opposed to frozen in a meal. And I have trouble telling the difference once you heat them up. Jer Bear thought Bacos were bacon bits. I don't know. There's been a controversy about that. And I don't know that that's ever been settled. But the bottom line for me is that I can't tell the difference between the two. So we're good there. All I know is I love them on a salad. If you sprinkle either one of those on top of a salad, that is the proverbial cherry on top for me. I love them. Real, real good. Just Saying says, martinis are the reason I get up in the afternoon. Martinis are the reason I get up in the afternoon. There's a couple things to be said about that. You get up in the afternoon. Yeah. Yeah. That's one of the all-timers here, I'll tell you. All right, let's see what's going on here, because we got a couple more I want to give you before we get to the scream, which is just moments away. This thing goes on forever. I never know when it ends, because it's the same phrase all the time. Nah. But you can't hear it, because if you do, then Facebook gets mad at me. Here's Johnny, so that you can get mad at me for letting you hear him. Okay, very quickly, before we get to the screen. Fran says, walnuts are gross, and pairing them with banana just ruins banana-flavored food. Walnuts are gross, and pairing them with banana just ruins banana-flavored food. And finally, the last one comes from the tweeter known as Facts Do Matter. Facts Do Matter says, if tomato is a fruit, how come no one eats it for dessert? Linda's a note, but I think that's on the walnuts being gross thing. If tomato is a fruit, how come no one eats it for dessert?
Looking for a hassle-free car buying experience? At RPM Auto Sales, we offer special financing
get to the traffic and then the scream.
That's all. Saving money while cruising this summer. Why are you waiting? Visit RPM Auto Sales today and choose from our wide selection of quality pre-owned vehicles. Our team's here to help you get the car you need at a price you'll love. Your road to summer adventure starts at RPM Auto Sales. Spring is here, and so are the 2025.
Yep. Still cloudy. Supposed to be all day long. Yesterday there was sunshine, abundant sunshine all day, and today it's going to be just about as warm, but not nearly as picturesque at all. Rest of the weekend be great. How does facts know no one does? How does facts know that no one does? Eating tomato for dessert? I know I've never had it for dessert. I've eaten tomato lots of times, but never once for dessert.
Patrick and his team of highly trained experts focus on all the details to make your yard amazing. Monday through Friday, 9 to 6, Saturday, 8 to 1, 989-75.
Do you know anybody who eats it for dessert? Tomato? The supposed fruit?
With the Meyer 7 for 7 sale. Pay just $1 each when you mix or match any 7 or more.
Eat tomatoes for dessert, yeah?
Save big on everything.
I don't know anybody who does.
Family meal, including assorted Meyer frozen vegetables, select varieties of Campbell's condensed soup, Meyer pasta and pasta sauce, and Ben and Jerry's or Haagen-Dazs ice cream. Family-friendly meals and low prices. That's the happy shopper good life at Meyer. Exclusions apply. See all deals in the Meyer app.
Are you a commercial business? I have a question for you. Are you in compliance with
I think we've still been looking like we're a little hot here in the studio because of the way the iris in the camera is reacting to this light. That just continues to bug me. I can't get that to stop.
Attention to detail. They can service and maintain your fire systems to be reliable, functioning, and in compliance with code. Don't wait till it's too late.
Weirder things have happened than eating tomato for dessert. I can't imagine what would be, other than Fireball showing up on my homepage yesterday right after we got done talking about it all morning long on Instagram in the Hal Hole Saloon. All of a sudden, boom, all of a sudden I got a picture of Fireball bottles, a whole bunch of them, after we'd spent an hour talking about it before. That's pretty weird. Let's see what shows up today. What have we been talking about today? That might show up in the feed today.
Generator keeps your lights on, your fridge running, and your family comfortable during those unexpected power disruptions. It's peace of mind that you can rely on. Don't let the season catch you off guard. Schedule your AC maintenance and explore generator options today. Contact Dallaire Heating and Cooling at 810-379-0322 or visit us online at fixmyheat.com for all your
I guess we're ready to do this now, huh?
Dallaire Heating and Cooling, keeping you comfortable no matter the weather.
Yes, we are. Just ahead of the Friday morning primal scream in the city of Burton, we're now working a crash at Belsey and Potter Roads. Also, we're still washing down the aftermath of an earlier mishap on northbound 75 just past Corunna Road in Flint Township. So working a crash Chevrolet Avenue at West University Avenue in the city of Flint. Also in the city of Flint, we have been working on a crash, serious one involving injury earlier. That was Pasadena Avenue at DuPont Street. That continues to be a problem. And that tire has still not been picked up, apparently. It's still out there. Eastbound 69 just before Center Road. Now, if you happen to spot a problem out there, let us know at 810-230-WRSR. That's 810-230-9777. And then be a traffic tipster right here on 103.9 The Fox. I think we're ready to do this. Let's do it.
Party was held on December 20th at Jones Elementary in Tyler, Texas. According to an affidavit, the assistant principal told a Tyler Independent School District police officer she believed a parent had brought the Jell-O shots to the classroom Christmas party.
What? I don't know.
Must be the way she keeps her kids quiet at home. How do you... everything's bigger in Texas, but clearly that doesn't include brains. She might have gone away for a while here. She'll have to swap those Jell-O shots for toilet wine now.
Do you wanna do a shot with me?
She's claiming it was an accident. She's claiming she bought it from a private home craft person. And that she didn't know that they were spiked.
Yeah, I don't know if I buy that or not.
One kid had 6 of them and passed out.
Oh, that is a problem.
Yeah, you think? All right, then there's a new Harvard study people are screaming about. It found that 42% of Americans under the age of 30, Gen Z in other words, say they're barely getting by financially. Which is kind of, how hard can it be to get by financially when you live in your parents' basement?
Well, Mom and Dad need to step up, man.
Yeah, apparently, yeah. Tough managing money when you're under 30, apparently. After all, avocado toasted mimosas at brunch are
Very expensive,
these days. Yes.
No, I don't wanna do that. Do you wanna get a haircut? No, I don't wanna do that. Do you wanna swallow poison? No, I don't wanna do that. Do you wanna get in a hot tub full of blackberry brandy with Cindy Crawford?
Yep.
Oh, yes!
I'm wearing my G-string. And by the way, you want to be in a better mood? Take my advice. The news is always so much more peaceful when you turn it off.
I like that. Yes, I like
Don't
that.
pay any attention to it. Let's just have a good weekend. Got the right weather for it and everything else. So let's all scream together here. The idea is to think whatever is stressing you out and scream it out of your system. It does work. This is a real psychology thing they use in psychologist's office. The University of Michigan studied it and said, yeah, it works. Let's do it. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, my goodness.
I lost my screamer.
All right.
Yes, all right. Holy moly. It doesn't hurt. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Unbelievable.
NFL Draft on ABC. Thank you for joining us. On behalf of all of us here at Jimmy Kimmel Live, we hope you got the giant young man you wanted tonight. Is also Bring Your Kids to Work Day. It is a day that got started in 1992 as a way for children to learn why their parents are so depressed all the time. It used to be Take Your Daughter to Work Day. Remember that? And it encouraged women in the workplace. Then over time it changed to Take Your Son or Daughter to work. The rule is you have to pay your son 22% more than the daughter.
I was trying to bring a girl home from a bar the other night, and she said, I'd invite you over, but my place is kind of messy. And I was like, yeah, that's not a deterrent. At 3:30 in the morning. I can't imagine walking into her apartment and being like, absolutely not. If we fold these sheets, we could talk, but without a duvet cover, not happening. Of course your place is a mess. If you're willing to have sex with me, I'm going to assume your whole life is in shambles. I just dropped my iPhone in the toilet. Have you ever done that? It's horrible. I would almost rather lose a loved one than my phone. Not my mom or dad, but aunt, uncle, no question. I love my grandpa. I didn't check him every 30 seconds. How cool would it be if when your grandpa died if they gave you an upgrade? A better old dude? They just hand him to you like he's just like your grandpa, but he doesn't say the N-word. Like, wow, that's an upgrade. Does he still say Oriental? They're like, yeah, we couldn't fix everything. It's the Grandpa 13, not the Pro. So. 103.9, the Fox.
And there you go. Thank you very much, guys, for your attendance and your attention and hanging out with us on a Friday morning for as long as you were able to. Have yourself a pleasant, peaceful, productive day and weekend. And come on back with us again Monday morning. We'll be back here on YouTube and on Facebook and on Twitch with our simul stream. After you've had yourself a wonderful weekend of maybe being at a festival somewhere or just relaxing, whatever it is. And back here to report Monday on how well it went. Thanks for WHBQ for being here over on Twitch and all those who are here on YouTube, which is 90% of you. Come on back to the Hal Hole Monday morning, okay? Okay.